Let's talk about the variables, expression, and equation. In this video, I will go over, we will able to evaluate the algebraic expression given values for the variables. We will able to identify the solution to the equations. We will able to distinguish between the expression and equation. And we will translate the word phrases to algebraic expression and equations. Let's get started. Let's first see the difference between the expression and equations. Expression is a combination of numbers, letters, variables are letters, operating symbols meaning positive, negative, you can use multiplying, dividing, grouping symbols meaning you can use parentheses, brackets, and fraction bar. The examples are 4x plus 7, and I have another example, 6a plus 3 times 2b minus 7. These two are the example of expression. Expression can only be simplified or evaluated. For this video, I will only show you how to evaluate. On the other side, equation also has everything what the expression has. The numbers, the variables, the operating symbol, the grouping symbol. The extra sign that equation carry is the equal sign. So the example is 4x plus 7, if I just put equal 9, now that becomes an equation. Equations always can be solved. For this particular video, I will not show you how to solve. We will only identify if a number is a solution or not. Let's look at our first expression. We will evaluate that for x equals 4. Here we have 7x minus 8. Let me get my pen. What you have to do is x equals 4 is given to you. Wherever you see the x, you have to replace that with number 4. You must watch the video prior to this one about the order of operation. Let's replace the x by 4 first. 7x means 7 times 4. You can use a dot in between or parentheses. According to the order of operation, I'm going to multiply this 7 and 4 now. Between multiplication and subtraction, multiplication goes first. That will give me 28 minus 8, and my final answer will be 20. Let's try another one. 3x squared plus x. Again, I will replace my x by 4 first. Let's do that. So I wrote 3 times inside the parenthesis, the x is a 4 squared plus 4. Now here you have to be careful what you do. You have multiplication right there, and this is exponent. Between the multiplication exponent, you must do the exponent first. I will do first the 4 square, which will be 16. That's how I got 3 times 16 plus 4. Obviously, I'm going to multiply now before I add. 3 times 16, that will give me 48 plus 4. The final result will give me 54 as the final answer. In the next slide, we will evaluate the expression again, but this time my example will have 2 different variables. This time, the expression I'll show you in a minute, but the values are given for x equals 1 and y equals 5. That's what we're evaluating for. Here's our first expression. 2 times 2x plus y. Go ahead and replace your x by 1 and your y by 5 first. So I wrote 2 times inside the parenthesis, 2 times 1 plus 5. Obviously, I have to take care of the parentheses first, and I'm going to multiply first. That will give me 2 times 2 plus 5. I'll still take care of the parentheses first, so I'm going to add 2 plus 5. That will give me 7. And the final result, multiplying 2 and 7, that will lead to 14. Let's try another expression using a fraction bar. Here I have 4x plus 3y minus 1 divided by 2x plus y. Go ahead and replace all your x's by 1 and y by 5. This is what I get. 4 times 1 plus 3 times 5 minus 1 over 2 times 1 plus 5. So I'm going to multiply the 4 times 1, and then I'm going to multiply 3 times 5, and then I'm going to multiply 2 times 1 in my next step. I will get 4 plus 15 minus 1 over 2 plus 5. 4 plus 15 is 19. 19 minus 1 is 18. That becomes my numerator. 2 plus 5, 7 will be my denominator. Now 18 over 7 is already in the lowest term, so I will not reduce this furthermore. Let's move on to identifying the solution of equations. We're not solving an equations here, but just identifying if particular number is a solution or not. Let's look at the example. Here's my example. 6x plus 2 times x plus 3 equals 14. We are checking for the number 2. We are seeing that if 2 is the solution for this particular equation or not. We're just going to use the same idea that I used in previous slide, and I will replace my x by 2. Replacing my x by 2 gave me 6 times 2 plus 2 times inside the parenthesis 2 plus 3 equals 14. Let's go ahead and simplify this using order of operation. That will give me 6 times 2 plus I added the 2 plus 3 inside the parenthesis that gave me 5 equals 14. We will multiply now 6 and 2 and 2 and 5. That will give me 12 plus 10 in my next step. 12 plus 10, if you try to add, you're going to get 22. Now 22 equals 14. That is not correct. It's a false statement. The numbers are not same. If you're getting a false statement in the end, then you can write that number 2 is not a solution for this particular equation. Let's try one more example. This time we are checking if 3 is a solution for this equation. 2x squared plus 1 equals 19. Therefore, I'm going to replace my x by 3. So I wrote 2 times 3 to the power 2 plus 1 equals 19. You want to follow the order of operation and you want to do the exponent first. 3 squared will become 9. Now I have 2 times 9 plus 1 equals 19. Go ahead and multiply 2 times 9 to get 18. And then we will add 18 plus 1, which makes it 19. In this case, both the sides came out to be same number. This is considered a true statement. If your statement is true, we can say that 3 is a solution for this equation. You can try more question on this from the practice if you like from the book. I'm going to move on to the word phrases. I'm going to show you the phrases for adding, subtraction, multiplying, and dividing. For addition, we can use different phrases like sum, more than, add, increased by. For subtraction, I can use minus, subtracted from, difference between, decreased by, less than. Now, when you write the phrases for subtraction, you have to be very careful in the way you write, in which order you write will make a huge difference. Phrases for multiplication. I can use a product, only the word of, the times, twice a number meaning you're multiplying by 2, triple a number meaning you're multiplying by 3. Phrases for division can be used as divided by. The word quotient also means to divide, and the word ratio of. Let's look at some of the examples using the expression and equation that I'll be showing you in the next slide that we will try to write. Here's our first example. 2/3 of a number subtracted from 20. Now, the subtracted from is used. You have to be very careful about this phrase. Whatever comes after the word from, it could be a number or a letter, you need to write that first. So in this case, I'm going to put my 20 first. Subtracted from means subtraction sign. And then you can write a 2/3 of a number. Of also means multiplication. 2/3 will be a fraction, so you will write as 2/3. And then of means times. The variable can be on the top with the 2, or you can put sometimes in the middle. Both ways you can write. So here I showed you another version, 20 minus 2/3, and this time I wrote the x in the middle. Let's look at another example. The difference of 10 and twice a number. Now the difference is used, whenever the phrase difference is used, we will keep in the same order. Meaning I'm going to write the 10 first, and then I'm going to use my subtraction sign, and then I will write twice a number. Twice a number meaning you're multiplying a number by 2. Because we don't know a number, you can choose any variable. I'm choosing here as x. My number is x. You can choose a y, z, whatever you like. And I will write this as 10 minus 2x. So, as I said earlier, with the subtraction, the way you write, in which order you write will matter. Let's look at some more examples. Sum of 1/3 of a number and 8 is 10. We are adding here, so I'm going to write 1/3 of a number first. 1/3 of a number can be written as 1/3 times x. You're adding that to 8, and the word is means equals here. Remember, the word is means equals here. So we are changing this phrase into an equation. This is how you will write. Again, you can choose the x on the top if you wish. 1/3 times x plus 8 equals 10. Let's try one more. 1 divided by a number equals 4/5 times that number. So if you are using, I highly recommend that whenever you use dividing, you use a fraction bar. So 1, you're using a fraction bar divided by a number. I'm going to use x, and that equals 4/5, which is a fraction, 4/5, and then times that number, meaning the one we used already, x. Again, you can choose to write x on the top or in the middle. Here's another way that I showed you. 1/x equals 4/5 times x. Let's try a few more examples. 6 more than twice a number is 8. Again, it's an equation. You're adding 6 more. You're adding 6 more to twice a number. So this is how I will write. I'm adding 6 more to twice a number, 2 times the number. The word is means equals 8. In this case, if somebody chose to write 6 plus 2x, that will be still correct technically. But we always like to put the variable first. So 2x plus 6 equals 8. Let's look at one more example. The product of 4 and the sum of a number and 11 is 23. Now, you have to be careful writing this phrase here. The product of 4 here is that you're multiplying the 4. You're multiplying the 4 by the entire this thing, the sum of a number and 11. Okay, so you have to, when you're multiplying 4 by two terms, you must use a parenthesis. So I'm going to write 4 times the sum of number in 11, x plus 11, and that equals 23. So it's very important you choose here a parenthesis. So one more time, I showed you 4 times. Now inside the parenthesis, if somebody writes 4 times 11 plus x equals 23, that will be still correct. Hopefully this video helps you with the phrases.